Welcome to the What You Need to Know Ranch.
What you need to know, Ranch? What you gonna tell them?
I'm Cowgirl Sybil. That right there is Cowgirl Myra. And then my partner down there at the bottom, that is Cowboy Steve.
I do.
How you doing, Cowboy Steve?
Nice to meet your acquaintance. How you doing? Wait,
nice to meet your acquaintance.
How did I become a Southern Medea quite quick? How did that how did that happen?
Oh God! One day we'll do behind the scenes. I promise. How what the heck is going on with Stephen Hill's hat?
I would like to. I will gladly tell you. As I get the faithful ward ready for to apply for his first job, and it's like pulling teeth from a camel. If you ever seen camel's teeth, you know what I mean. As I try to do that, I figured, let me grab the hat from my very first job. So this,
Roy Rogers.
This is the hat we used to wear. Roy Rogers. This is the hat that I wore when I worked at Roy Rogers in the summer of 1978 in McLean, Virginia. Yes.
Wow, Roy Rogers. That is so cool. Back down memory lane.
Yes.
Yeah. And where is the faithful ward going to apply for fast food restaurants or
so McDonald's? There's an art gallery. He's just 16, so he's limited to what he can do. But fast food, art gallery, a couple of volunteer places, a place called the People's Refrigerator that I'm gonna have him work for. So a number of different things we're working towards, but that's our mindset right now. Getting him a job.
That is so awesome. I love that. And the folks are loving it too, as you might expect. It is Wednesday, you guys, and it is April 7th as we talk about what's going on in the news. This is a great day in the world of politics for the folks in St. Louis. St. Louis has elected its first Black female mayor in the history of St. Louis. And she is a sister girl for sure. Her name is Tashara Jones. She is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And she is the city treasurer, now moving over to the top job in the city of St. Louis. She won last night, defeating Alderwoman Kara Spencer, matching two progressive Democratic women. And she eased through there, cheering supporters at the Omega Center. How appropriate is that she was at the Omega Center. And she said, it's time to bring a breath air to our neighborhoods. It's time for St. Louis to thrive. And this is what I also liked. I like the fact that her opponent was not her opponent. She says she was her opponent, but not her enemy, I should say. The people of St. Louis have spoken. As the Alderwoman said, and I pledge my support to Mayor-elect Tashara Jones to move our city forward. And so that's really cool. That's what you'd like to see as people are finishing up campaigns, huh?
It's how it used to be. Like that was the norm a few years back. And now it's a little different.
Absolutely.
But congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very sad. This is the loss of a young woman. By the name of Midwin Charles, the legal analyst that many of us knew on CNN and MSNBC. She has been remembered by so many folks, including our friend Don Lemon and Sonny Hostin and others, for her legal mind, her wonderful personality. And I never met her in person. I only talked to her on the Joyner Show, and that's when she was a guest of Roland Martin's. But at any rate, this young woman was 47 years old. Remembered for all of her appearances on these news programs from CNN, MSNBC, HLN, Bloomberg TV. She died this week. She was 47, as I said. Her death was announced by her family on her social media accounts. And it says, with profoundly heavy heart and the deepest sadness, we announce the untimely passing of our beloved Midwin Charles. They said this in the Twitter statement. She was known to many as a legal commentator on television, aunt, niece, and cousin. And folks are just really saddened by the loss. And apparently it was very sudden. She was taken to the hospital a couple of weeks ago to the emergency room and passed away yesterday. So we do send our condolences as well to folks, to her family. And just 47, it's just-
way too young, far too young.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to ask. Steve, did you know Midwin?
I did not at all. No.
Yeah. Myra, had you ever met her? Because she seems like somebody you would like to know, Myra. I know. I just mean, you like smart people, as a smart woman yourself, and what a news junkie you are. I thought maybe, perhaps you all have.
No, I didn't have the fortune of meeting her. Had seen her though, but never met her.
Oh, you know what? Oh, here we go. Okay. There we go. Oh, Michael. Okay. Michael says on Facebook, Michael Starwer says he actually chatted with her on Twitter early last week, and still shocked by this. Yeah, she was one of those who like to converse with people and, keep up with them on social media as well. A brilliant legal mind. And as people saw, clerking for high court of judges and what have you. This is great news out of the city of Atlanta, Myra.
Yes,
Fulton County's district attorney announced today she will not be prosecuting the Democratic lawmaker who was arrested last week after she knocked on the door of Governor Kemp's state office as he was signing that horrific voting bill, the new elections law, behind closed doors. The district attorney's sister, Fannie Willis.
Willis, I'm sorry, yes.
I call her Fannie. It's Fannie, is it? Fannie?
They say Fannie.
Fannie, that's it. Fannie Willis says that she considers the case closed after reviewing the evidence surrounding State Representative Park Cannon's March 25th arrest, adding she will not be presenting the case to a grand jury. And so that is great news. And her attorney, Greg Griggs, was also on social media today and saying that this will not go any further. And so that is great news.
Sister girl was like, okay, what's on the docket today? Oh, this BS. Next.
Iris. Yeah. Iris, like.
Yes, absolutely. Throw it over your shoulder. Lunch. Somebody order lunch. It's like, yeah.
Let's go to Slutty Vegan. Somebody. Okay.
Exactly. She was she said this case is closed and we will not pursue it.
Done.
Next. And
I look forward to the
voting is so important, ladies.
Talk to him. I look forward to people who oppose that. I can't believe she knocked on the door. How you not gonna prosecute? Yo, she knocked really hard. Like she knocked really hard. Like
Did you read the report? There was kicking and it was almost. I thought of the mob situation of January the 6th.
That's right.
That's
what could have led to that. It could have led to that.
Because it was only 6 women. Is that why?
So black women, angry black women, Myra.
So we just gonna go knocking everywhere? Oh, so now we just go knocking? Oh, we can just go knocking? Oh, knocking's just okay now, right? Oh, okay. All right. Watch me knock. Watch me knock. Watch me knock. Watch me knock.
They
all right, Sharon.
For tapping. It was a gentle tapping on the door. 2 felonies.
You don't even know knocking. You don't know knocking.
And you certainly don't know no gentle tapping. That's for sure. What? Huh?
What? Okay. All right. Stephen Hill, this is for you. We talked about this story last week about the knocking down and the abuse of the Asian woman by the mentally challenged man. The guy who had killed his mother 19 years ago, got out of prison. And then went and abused this poor Asian woman.
And the two men who stood and watched it, who had no mental challenges at all. Yes. Okay. Right. Keep going.
So they've been fired. The doormen have been fired at the New York building. Staff members of the reportedly fired after they failed to help the Asian woman who was brutally attacked in broad daylight on the Manhattan sidewalk. The Brodsky organization, the management company that owns the high-end apartment building at 360 West 43rd Street, announced the building's doormen were fired after the surveillance video raised criticism of their actions or lack thereof when the 65-year-old woman was assaulted on her way to church. And obviously they've caught the young man who did this, the person that did this, and so now these guys are out of jobs.
Good. They should be out of jobs, and you should publicize their names so they can't get another job. It's hard to get another job as a doorman in New York. Like it's a tough thing to get into because the benefits are so awesome. So and that's the truth. So hopefully they can't get another one. So
interesting. This is a story I've been sitting on for the last few weeks. I just didn't know where to place it in my mind or in one of these casts, and simply because charges have not been filed as far as I know, but this is regarding the Houston Texans quarterback, Deshaun Watson. And Nike has suspended their endorsement deal with him over the sexual misconduct allegations. This is in the wake of the misconduct and assault allegations levied against him. In a statement today, the company says it's deeply concerned about the disturbing allegations and has suspended its relationship with Deshaun Watson. And so the story is that a number of women, and we're talking in double digits now, women that he engaged for massage services on Instagram, on social media, they would come to him and perform services, and then he would engage their hands and other parts of his body, not just, they get to the thigh and then he would move it up higher or that kind of thing. And so a number of women, I think we're not only talking double digits, we're talking in the teens, if not close to 20, who have come forward now. He has denied any wrongdoing. His legal team says that he's repeatedly sought to portray the allegations as a money grab. And in a statement, they say that the firm had sought $100,000 in hush money prior to filing their lawsuit last month, but no charges yet. So that is what we have for things that are going on in the news. We got through a lot here, you guys, and so. Yeah. Oh, he is on YouTube. H2O Ice One says funny. Stephen is the Black Woody from Toy Story. You gotta love it. So Myra, it's incumbent upon you to become Buzz Lightyear.
Okay.
I know you have a space helmet in your closet of toys and tricks.
well, I'm sure and that's why Black Woody. No, Woody. Stop. No, stop. No. It's not. No, Woody. No. Yes. That's bad. Bad you. Bad you.
There has been some buzzing in my bedroom.
Myra knows her Buzz Lightyears. Okay, so I wanted to. This video has taken on a life of its own, and I have taken on wanting to do positive things. We have enough bad news in the world. I wanted to do this, and this was a result of a good deed done by our friend Shaquille O'Neal, and it was brought about by his friends on his sports show last night, I believe.
Shaq randomly played for a young man's engagement ring?
You know what happened yesterday?
When did this happen?
This happened yesterday. So I was in Zales looking for some loop earrings. And I seen the guy.
With the blue shirt on?
Yeah.
You went to the mall and went to Zales?
Wait, what?
You want
me to go to Piedmont Park? You're going to Zales?
First of all, I have a jewelry line at Zales, first of all.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
my bad.
What kind of jewelry?
Well, everything. So anyway, I went in there to get some loop earrings. And I seen the guy come in. He was just so shy. He was saying, hey, how much do I owe to pay off my ring? It was just, and I was like, my man, how much is the ring? And I'm not going to say the amount, but it's not enough to me. But I just, and this is something that I do every day. The other day, me and my mom went furniture shopping, and this lady, she had a autistic daughter. And, she was also, looking to pay for some furniture. And I just took care of it. So I'm into making people happy. So whenever I leave the house, I just try to do a good deed. Like, I didn't mean for that to get out because I don't do it for that, but like the guy just came in and, he's a young kid. He's a hard-working guy. He's like, hey, man, I can come back next month and then lay away. Like, he put some money down, but I was like, you know what? Tell your girlfriend I got to take care of it. At first, he didn't want to take it. He's like, I can't do that. I said, don't worry about it. I do it all the time. So I'm just trying.
How much do you love Shaquille O'Neal? The fact that, he's you just I got you today or tomorrow, or I just want to know where you're going shopping next, Shaq. But
Shaq,
I think that is so
great. I could be at the Lexus dealership. I would tell, no, you wouldn't have to worry about it getting out.
How great is that?
I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. Look, I've always Shaq. When he first started in the league, he was so smart, and I forget either he never spent an endorsement money when he was in the league and only spent his salary, or flipped it one way. But either way it was,
one of the salaries.
One of them he kept and spent not a dime of it while he was playing. So the fact that he was fiscally smart early on, when a lot of folks was buying cars,
buying hoops and earrings,
buying things that lose half their value as soon as you hit the first bump off the lot. Shaq was preparing for days like this. So, and the fact that he goes out, he there's so many folks. Jay go out and do things and never, like, he wasn't the one operating the camera, my friends. Like, they do this kindly and don't need to have a press release about it. They just do it, and this one just happened to be caught. And you could tell by the way he's talking about it. He's like, I mean, it's cool, but keep it moving. So shout to Shaq.
Exactly. Yeah, and to his mom. Hi, Miss Lucille. I miss you. She's wonderful. She's absolutely wonderful.
Shaq randomly played for a young man's.
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna have a replay of that. That's okay. It's just Myra. We'll find out where he's hanging out next, and we'll just moving in that direction.
Sure, you got it.
I love that, and I hope that it encourages other people, because I think we're finding, especially like in this, where you want to. I don't know if you've done this, but you pay for the people behind you as you're going through your fast food drive-through or whatever, and you just pay it forward. And I think that's just beautiful thing. Yeah. So that's just really nice. And asking the people,
like $18. How much coffee are they drinking? My bill was $2.16. I'm only kidding.
That was for the water.
That's a great idea. But if the person in the car, and the person behind me is rocking a better car than mine, they can pay for their own. They can pay for their own.
No, come on, Blackwood. I don't want to be the person to break the chain.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering, the people who are watching and listening, if they have ever been the recipient of something like that, or if they have ever done it as well. I just love, having Shaq. My college loan is older than my students. Kimberly.
Wow.
Kimberly Jackson on YouTube. Wow. Her college loan is older than her students. Wow. That's really, and she's in college, probably teaching. That is really, bless her heart. Well, you know what? When I went, I'm not going to play Powerball anymore. I'm just going to go straight to scratch offs these days. I've decided that the odds are better. When I win, Kimberly, hit me back. We got you. After I take care of people in this room. After I rent out the joinership for my friends and family for a fantastic voyage.
Hey now.
Yeah.
Several years ago, it was right before Christmas, and whenever someone loses their home in a tragedy, if it's fire or tornado, a hurricane, it's always so devastating. And so someone had posted that this lady right before Christmas, her and her kids, single mom, lost everything, and I sent something to her, period. This had to be at least 3 years later. This lady saw me in a store and came up to me and said, "Oh my God, I'm the woman that you said." And as Stephen Hill said, "I'm not crying, you're crying." I just lost it. Yeah.
It just makes you feel good that you were doing good for others. And I thank my mom for for leaving that with me. I really do.
Coach, by the way, I do want to point out, I do that all the time. I pay for people's food behind me, mostly when I'm on the joiner cruise, but so, I feel good about me. Like, I feel good about me on that one.
You're so generous. Such a kind heart.
Thank you. I feel that way. I feel that way.
Those buffet days may be behind us, Stephen Hill.
Stephen, Big Daddy.
It is time for us to take a look at the day 7 and the What You Need to Know news. The first story is about, First, we have a pronunciation clarification.
I've noticed that many people are mispronouncing this man's name. It's French. It's pronounced murderer.
Yo, that's funny. That's funny.
Parlez-vous français?
That's funny.
It's French.
What's the funniest thing about that is you're sure it's about to go to Karenville, and then it doesn't. That's the thing. Right. You're sure about you because you got your hate ready. Like, oh, I'm ready to throw some biscuits at this woman, and then it turns around.
It's French. So yesterday was day 7 of the Chauvin trial, and Chauvin trial. And the police chief of Minneapolis, Madario Arredondo, told jurors that Derek Chauvin's restraint of George Floyd absolutely violated department policy. 2 other police officers testified about the use of force training within the department, and so that's what happened yesterday, along with the other witnesses. The Minneapolis Police Sergeant Kerr Yang explaining how the department's crisis intervention team responds to people suffering from behavioral or mental health crises. And also there was another police lieutenant, Donnie McClurkin, who trains officers in use of force and defensive tactics. And he followed him on the stand and testified officers were authorized to use neck restraints by applying pressure, but only for people who were actively resisting or assaultive, and only if other techniques had not yet worked. But he said it was not a department-trained neck restraint, what had happened with Chauvin on George Floyd. So today they're continuing, just to give you guys an update and a look into what happens tomorrow's newsletter. Today they continued with officials. This one gentleman is with the Los Angeles Police Department, and he is an official in talking about the way people are treated and what they saw in the video and what have you. And apparently you can make a pretty good living doing beyond your Los Angeles Police Department work. You can do this and become a professional witness. And he was paid, what did they say, like $2,500 by the prosecution to come and testify yesterday and today. But they are talking about, once again, about the video and about, there was also questions with another of the investigators from the Minneapolis Police Department about drugs and what you heard on the video and what did George Floyd, what was he heard saying? And it's amazing how they took the same piece of video and what you heard on one piece, and when you made it a little bit longer, how the police officer was able to, or the special agent was able to decipher what George Floyd was saying. And,
let me if I can jump in here, because the way it was done was so slick, right? So they played a short version of the tape, and the defense attorney says, now doesn't it sound like he said, I ate the drugs? And so the guy goes, it's amazing. This is how you can be not brainwashed, but you be led down a way. And so it did kind of sound like that in that bite. Now, the prosecutor played a longer bite for the same witness. Yeah. And in context, is he's talking about, like, I'm not high, I'm not this, I'm not this. And then the same thing comes, and he says, what does it sound like he said there? And the same witness who said yes to the other thing, because he was led that way, said, it sounds like he said, I ain't doing no drugs, or I ain't doing no drugs. But this is how it's going to be. Remember, the prosecution is up now. And so everything's kind of going to go the way we want it to. When the defense comes up and tries to make it about George Floyd and not about Derek Chauvin, that's when this is going to get testy. Oh, by the way, and I'm gonna tell you right. By the way, I heard I ate the bugs. Like that's what I heard. I heard I ate the bug. Like, and I was like, ew. And I was like, that don't make no sense. But that's what I heard. So.
How did I know that we were going to go there when I saw I ate the bugs? How did I know?
I ate the bugs.
This is another instance of somebody who has made an impact on our lives, and we may not even know it. But this is the loss of a lion within the United States House of Representatives, and a real forceful. He was a character, but he was also quite a civil rights leader. And that was the judge and 15-term Congressman, Representative Alcee Hastings, U.S. Congressman from Florida, passed away after a long battle against pancreatic cancer. He had told folks to announce it a couple of years ago, probably around the same time that John Lewis had announced his battle with pancreatic cancer. But the civil rights lawyer, Florida's first Black federal judge, died this week. He was a member of the U.S. House, elected to 15 terms, as I said. He was 84, and his story is one of those from the ground up to the top, from the outhouse to the White House kind of thing that Jesse Jackson used to talk about. He was born in 1936 in Altamont Springs near Orlando. And according to the Herald, he changed his name from Alcee Lamar Merritt to Alcee Lamar Hastings, adopting his stepfather's last name. He was raised in Jim Crow era Florida, picking beans and tangerines while working with and living with his grandmother, who became his guardian while his parents were away working. He went to a segregated high school, started studies at Fisk University. He received his bachelor's degree, and his education in the field of law began at Howard, didn't go so well. And so he was expelled for what he called non-seriousness of purpose. And he went to Florida A&M, where he earned his law degree in 1963. But as I said, he was the first Black judge who was appointed by Jimmy Carter in 1979 to the federal bench. Federal judge. And there were some issues. He was impeached from his position, and he went on to run for the United States Congress and served there for 30 years. And when I tell you, he was charming, but he was also very fiercely proud of his Blackness and being there for his people in the Fort Lauderdale area and West Palm. And he will truly be missed. And now the important thing to note about this is that the margin the margin that the Democrats now have over the Republicans in the House is getting smaller and smaller. They've lost another one, and I think it might be down to 6. They might have a majority of 6 in the House by the Democrats over the Republicans. So it's very important that people keep this in mind, especially when they have the election, and they will probably have a special election for this particular seat. And so it's very important in the state of Florida, where they do things a little differently there, for folks to go and be a part of the electoral process.
Bring your water.
Bring your own.
Water.
Yeah, you don't want to have to tote the water for Massa. So this is a story out of Dallas County as far as our coronavirus update. Dozens of states have expanded the vaccine eligibility to people 16 years and older. Howsoever, last week, an 8-year-old child was mistakenly vaccinated at a drive-up site in Dallas County, Texas. Dallas, Texas. Officials say that an oversight and human error are to blame. An investigation how the mistake happened is underway. The father of the boy said he was able to register his son for a vaccination appointment through the Dallas County website. He said they got a QR code, and they said as part of their assumption is they understood that they would be registered and who should not. And this man said, they drove up and he got the shot, his son got the shot. And this just isn't the way things are done, especially now, as I said, now we're looking at 16 years and older, and other children are younger ages are, part of studies now They're part of the research, but definitely not as one who. So maybe they moved him over to the research. I don't know, to see what how his body responded to this.
I
But
I saw that. That just seemed very strange to me. I'm like,
yeah.
How old did this child look when they pulled up in the car? Like,
well, Myra, I think that's a good point, and I think that's how they're moving people through these things. You know, they're in some cases they didn't even look at the spindly arms of this child. You know, they might just go do it, and you're good to go.
Wow. Okay. Well.
So Brian Scott says, "Who vaccinated the young man, Mr. Magoo?" I'm sorry, no, that's not true. It was Dr. Magoo. So.
Physician assistant Magoo.
Brian, yes.
Brian, I love Brian. He's always got great commentary. We appreciate that. So, Pfizer said that the vaccine is safe and protective in kids as young as 12. However, he's 8.
He's 8.
Yeah.
So,
so I'm not sure from the story. So did the father think that it was okay for the 8-year-old son to have it? And that's because they do ask for your date of birth.
Yeah. And the father, he registered him
with the correct age. That's my question.
Well, as far as Texas is concerned, it's 16.
Right. So if
but
the child was 8,
but I don't know on the website.
Maybe he thought there was 2 of them, both of them being 8. They just add up to 8, 16. I don't know.
Oh, I wish I could reach through here right now.
Oh, Stephen Hill.
I don't know.
President Biden announced that all.
I know is that sex shot's going to be a doozy.
So that's the question. Do you think that they will? Yeah.
That is a good question. Would you? I mean, I don't know. Did they say Moderna or Pfizer? Did they say which one it was?
Pfizer.
It was Pfizer.
It was Pfizer, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he could have had the child vaccinated because he was able to register and given that QR code, and it was Pfizer. Announced that the vaccine is safe for children in ages as young as 12. And Moderna has begun clinical trials for their vaccine on children under the age of 12. However, it's only been authorized for people 18 years and older for Moderna. So, lots of
erratic finger painting coming after shot number 2.
Have you noticed about the states? Sorry. I don't know if she's playing. She's trying to hear music set up for something else or what. But are you guys looking at the 5 states that are the hot spots? The 5 states: Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Florida, I believe. And Steve, you're right there, and Myra, you're a state away.
Mm-hmm.
These people are reporting almost half of the coronavirus cases over the last 7 days.
Wow.
Well, almost half. They said about 44%.
Is there a speculation on what the reason is? I'm curious. I don't know.
They say that a lot of it has to do with people who are being able to travel now, and also opening up these places where they are able to come in contact with a lot more people. I'm really curious about what's going to happen as a result of Indianapolis and the people going there for the NCAA basketball finals, because the one case of this one young man from Alabama, and I know I keep talking about this, but it's just so mind-boggling. This kid is like 23 years old. He was a Alabama fan and went to he went to all the games. He came back and he had coronavirus and he died. And so events like that are just very curious to me as far as contact tracing. And that's going to be a hell of a contact tracing event, because they are really, that was a lot of people who were there. compared to, all the events that are going on now. And I know you guys have both been vaccinated, so you don't have any fears of this, but are you concerned about them opening up?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for one thing, just because you've been vaccinated doesn't mean you can't catch it. They're just saying it's a lower possibility, and that you should not have the severity of it.
And you won't have to be hospitalized.
Right. But with new variants constantly coming into play, you never know. You got that new girl, and there you are, laid up in the hospital. So yes, there is concern. So we still have to be safe. I went to a restaurant today, ate outside, and it was just so good to be outside, and have food. So I feel more comfortable that way. But I don't want to be in an enclosed building, in a small space, shoulder to shoulder, butt to butt with 500 people. I don't care how many shots I have. I'm not ready to do that. And I just don't think it's safe. Plus, I think some people have the thought of, well, if you got the vaccine and you got the vaccine, I shouldn't have to get the vaccine. So we always have this loose cannon running around, so. And
a lot of these Trump supporters are amongst those loose cannons who are saying that
30% of the Republicans and white evangelical Christians, 30%.
Yeah, and we're not even talking anti-vaxxers. They are just against this vaccine.
Yep.
And then their leader won't say, I got the vaccine, but I was still in the White House. Come on. Myra, do you wear a mask when you're still out?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Steve?
Mask.
100%, yeah.
Mask and the face shield.
Okay.
I prefer that as opposed to double masking, especially now that it's hot. It's kind of hot in Georgia. It's like 80. So yeah.
Yeah, Texas too. Yeah, absolutely.
No,
See,
I wear the mask mostly because to make other folks comfortable. It's not because I feel bad. Like when I'm traveling through any place indoor, I'll wear the mask. But as soon as I get outdoors, I have no problem walking without the mask. And the thing about, I want to get the Pfizer because Pfizer is shown to 90-some% not spread it. Like, so not, it won't spread. So that's the main thing. So I'm not really concerned about myself spreading, but I understand, science and emotion are two different things. So I just keep my mask on for other people.
Yeah. Thank you, Black Woody. We appreciate that.
Now there is a area by my house. There's a trail that goes to Alabama. If you just have the urge to walk to Alabama, I still never figured that out. Why the hell this trail all the way to Alabama? But anyway, when I go on the trail, and it's in the middle of the woods, I usually I don't wear a mask, but I have it in my pocket because it's not packed. Anybody out there is moving. There's no stopping and conversating or anything. And that's right, the Silver Comet Trail. You know that.
Thank you, Carmela, on YouTube. I think that was.
Yes, the Silver Comet Trail. And but I have one in my pocket because I'm like, just in case something happens, an emergency. When I hurt my foot months ago, I was on the Silver Comet Trail. And if I would have needed assistance, then I'm thinking you need to have a mask. And so I still have one with me. Yeah. Same mask, or you traded it out?
Mask.
Oh, I do the disposable ones because they say you're supposed to wear it and wash it. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not washing no mask out every night. It's like you only got one pair of panties. You gotta wash them every day. Come on now.
You do?
The worst.
Unless you do flippers, and then that's
well,
they call it flipper.
The real answer is no, you don't. But anyhow, my point is, the only time I hate wearing a mask is in the gym because my breath is tart, and so having it come back on me for an entire hour is not no bueno. And actually it's not the tartness because, they got mints for that, but it's the heat. Like it's the heat, and then the inability to properly exhale is really a challenge in the gym. But other than that,
I haven't had the courage to go back into the gym yet. And I love the gym, but I'm just thinking, once again, I'm in a building with other people and they gonna be, sweating and exhaling and doing stuff. So
all right, so we have our question of the day. Are we gonna play this first? Okay, so this is a clip from this weekend, and our friend Donnie McClurkin. I said that a lot today, our friend. This is from Donnie McClurkin and his interview on the series on TV One.
I didn't know how to have the relationship. I didn't know really what a woman wanted. I've messed up more than I've had good. My past relationships were a sprinkling of everything, men and women. I don't know how to do this. And because of that, when things get rough, I go back into my safe place, my music and my ministry. I want to lay down next to somebody that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. I really do. I miss the fact that I did not have the family unit that I could lay next to my spouse with my baby on my chest and be the quintessential dad that raises up a family like I saw in my dreams and I wanted in my heart. So never having a long-term relationship in my life and never being married, my thing is I chalked that up. I'm gonna probably be alone for the rest of my life as far as a mate is concerned. Happiness is something that's relative. I've got joy. Joy is consistent. Happiness is based on what happens. But joy is a constant type of assurance that everything's gonna be okay.
I don't know about you guys, but that really, just made me feel some kind of way. And I just wanted to ask you all, how does it feel to hear his confession about the rest of his days and resignation, resigning himself to the fact that he may be alone? And have you ever had those thoughts? And I'm not just asking you, I do want to hear your opinion, but I'm also asking the people that are out there listening, because a lot of people, especially during the pandemic, maybe our opinions have changed.
Well, yeah, for me, and I haven't been in a serious long-term relationship. Okay, for everybody listening, don't you tell me.
You don't have to give us the number of years. Yolanda wants to know.
It's been a very, very, very long time, and you have to find happiness from within. And I think where he is concerned, I'm happy that he has found his calling and his blessing, and that he recognizes that he gets joy from his ministry and joy from his music. Because as much as we all love companionship, and I would love to have a companion, and I will never say never, but there's a very good possibility I may go out of here alone. So that's why you have to make the best of every moment and every day and make yourself happy. And if you want to drink, damn it, have one.
Oh, Myra, it always goes back to Okay, Black Woody, I just have such a different view of your life, and I can't ever see you being alone, but I'm really curious how you felt about this, especially, and like I said, especially during the pandemic and our quarantine and things like that. Had you thought about it? Has it changed? Where are you?
First of all, I'm glad we don't have that much time left, because this could take an hour and a half.
Okay, well then, we'll leave that to your therapist.
Look, I understand, and I know I'm not the only one. I've been in a relationship and been alone before, right? As I know I'm not the only one, so I have no problem saying that. I love how he broke down happiness versus joy, but I think he's come to a bit more peace that he might be alone in terms of relationships, like a strong, long term the rest of his life than I have. That's probably like, yeah, I loved watching him because I love Donnie McClurkin. I loved working with him. We got to do Celebration of Gospel and the BET Awards and everything else. He's just one of the more talented, thoughtful brothers of all time. Mm-hmm. So it was special hearing it so thoughtful from him and hearing some words that I've had, if not come out of my mouth, at least in my head about loneliness and partnership. And to quote Sting, the reason for sometimes being alone is I hate to say it. It's probably me. So I'll stop right there. That's enough for Black Woody today.
I think you have dropped some pearls there, my friend, and I think that I think the same thing. I say to myself, no, people are like, well, don't you want to get married? Don't you want? And I'm like, nobody wants to live with this. It's got to be me. It's got to be me. And so I think it's really interesting, and I think it's just an interesting discussion for us to have out loud. And at this point in our lives, as you say, Myra and Steve, it's never too late. But the reality is just in terms of, because you want somebody like that who is so lovely, so genuine. You want somebody like that to find happiness and to find companionship, or if not, to have that child laying on his chest, with his partner or whatever. But it's just something to think about as we seek our next in the wake of this pandemic. Okay, Renita Bland. I should help singles connect. Okay, how do you suggest we do that? I got Black Woody here. Black Woody preaching says sunflowers.
Wait, no.
Black Woody preaching. I don't know if that is the title of a book,
I don't know
of
what
a song, of a movie. After Black Snake moaning, Black Woody preaching.
I thought you were gonna say Black Woody moaning. That's a whole different show.
Okay, Monique Hamilton said Cougar calling Steven. All right, so we'd like to say Cougar calling Black Woody. Okay. It is time for entertainment, and this is a little bit of information about the talk. As you know, Cheryl Underwood is going to be going back to the talk. Sharon Osbourne will not. She's been fired from the talk after that whole racist conversation as she was defending her friend Piers Morgan. And Cheryl Underwood has spoken out, as she's talking about the talk, spoke out publicly for the first time after last month's heated exchange. In her 3-part podcast series, Sharon Walks Away, Cheryl Underwood said she and Osbourne have not spoken. The talk has been on hiatus, as I said, and so her podcast co-host asked, have you spoken to Sharon Osbourne since the last time you were on the set together? She said, no. Okay, I've been looking through my phone. No, I can go back as far as I can go. No. Well, Sharon Osbourne got wind of this and said that's a lie, and she had the receipts. She went through each of the texts that she sent to Cheryl, and no response. So
that's not a lie. Then she said, "Have you talked to her?" She's like, "Well, nope, I didn't talk to her."
She said, "I haven't talked to her." But then when she was going through her phone and she was scrolling through, she said, "I can go back as far as I can go." And she said that she perhaps maybe has. So before we, first of all, this whole texting and as opposed to calling, and I understand some people just feel better about texting, and some people just won't pick up the phone. So you do text. And I know that there are some people, and you know who I am talking about, who are just very difficult to get in touch with. So
well, I'm sorry. I thought it's so crazy because I thought there was a camera in front of you, but clearly there must be a mirror. Oh, well, okay. Two-way mirror. Got it. No, I got it. I'm good. We're good. I got it.
I
Camera
got your mirror,
through.
Black Woody. You're absolutely right. I'll take it. Guilty as charged. Steve, before we go, there's two things I want you to talk about. First of all, want you to talk about DMX, because we have been doing a DMX watch, if you will, over this week, and talking about him and just your relationship, your friendship with him.
When you talk about tortured souls, but with good hearts, it's DMX, right? DMX has been, I won't go into details, but have been tortured since the beginning, but talk about a man with a good heart. That is Earl Simmons. But I don't think, I think he would be the first person to tell you that there are demons and things that he responded to, especially when he was younger, that he just couldn't get away from. But look, I've seen a lot of people go down that road, and they're not kind people. But like, I will be the person that calls DMX. His personality, his aura is a kind personality. There's just things he could not get away from, and we hope and pray for DMX. I keep hearing wavering reports about in a coma, off life support, in life support. But we hope for the best for Mr. Simmons.
Absolutely, and his family, and to a person, Steve, that we've talked to, whether they've just been fans or whatever, everybody has talked about what a kind soul, what a good man he is, and the troubles that in his head and surrounding him, but just what at heart, what a just really genuine human being he is.
So I recommend, if you want to see something that really, when I saw it, I was like, so that's the fact that he did it and the way he executed. That's DMX. Don't go to his music. Go to the Chris Rock movie Top 5. Go to the Chris Rock movie Top 5, and DMX has a cameo in there, and it is everything. It is everything. So.
Okay. I will do that tonight, as a matter of fact. Myra, do you have any thoughts on DMX?
I never met him, but I do know many people who have struggled with drugs, and it's horrible. It's horrible because the drugs don't really reflect who they are, and they can be really, really, really good people, and it's just a struggle for fighting those demons. And so, as you said, we hold him up, and others who are suffering like him in prayer, because it's easy to just say, well, just stop doing it. It's not that. The drugs aren't the problem. The drugs are the symptom of the actual problem.
All right. Okay. Everybody's leaving us with dropping some pearls of wisdom today. All right.
I would like to take this opportunity to point out, remember that it was during the Johnson-Nixon administration when people decided we're going to make drugs a crime so we can get all these blacks and hippies off the street, as opposed to as a health issue. So we still in our heads sometimes think of drugs and drug use as a crime, when it is not a crime issue, it is a health issue. But please remember, this happened in the late 60s because they wanted to, when it was heroin, whether it was heroin with blacks or whatever it is, they wanted to make, they wanted to cut the power from criminalize that activity. But it's not about criminality; it is about health, and this is an example of that.
And in the words of the great late Nancy Reagan, just say no. Stephen Hill. Go ahead, Mark. No.
I used to do a joke way back in the day about people putting the spin on it, because Betty Ford, remember, that's when everything became a dependency. Betty Ford was never called a drunk. She had an alcohol dependency. Liz Taylor was never called a junkie. She had a chemical dependency. So damn it, I always say no. Then let's say all of them have a dependency. These people, they have a dependency, but they'll never say that, quote unquote, in the media.
That's true. That's right. That once again, Myra, you just, y'all are just.
I know I scare myself sometimes.
Stephen Hill, we're going to leave you with the last word on Versus this past weekend. I know you and it was the Steve's pre and post of Versus and talking about it. We're going to give you the final word on the Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley brothers. And Myra's definitely going to be involved in this conversation because Myra knows the elements and she knows the Isley. So let us hear.
Started the pre-show at 7:30, ended the post-show by 2:30. That, if I'm by my calculation, is 7 hours worth of Isleys and Earth, Wind, and Fire. The only thing that made me mad about that is that it wasn't longer. It was one of my favorite events ever. I know we're close to time. The only thing you need to know, if you are truly a soul person, what you need to understand is here's how the Isleys won. The Isleys played the entire second side of The Heat Is On. Now, if you know what that is, then they played, make me say it again, girl, Sensuality and For the Love of You. Yeah. They played the entire
Black Woody down. Black Woody down. Black Woody just took himself out.
I'm good.
We're gonna leave it at that. I can't add to that.
But Myra, how did you feel as a fan? Because I remember the first time, like on the Joyner show, seeing them like less than 6 feet away from us. Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley brothers. That's just, and it brought back great memories. It was everything to me.
This is that good old school music. This is that music that make you want to go back to your ex and thank God the record ends, because then you go, okay. Just nothing but talent, legends, and I'm so glad we got a chance to experience that.
Yes, indeed.
Oh
yes.
God. Oh, it was. And Steve, you guys did a great job. Absolutely wonderful. And I think at one point I texted you and I said that you should have been hosting this, but I just absolutely loved it. Just absolutely loved it.
It's awesome.
And I liked the whole DJ Nice thing too. I mean,
D Nice did it well.
Yeah.
Z Walker called the X. That's never no.
And so, and I think it gave Black Woody a Woody. Okay, Maurice on Facebook.
I would be really upset if it weren't true. Okay.
Oh, golly. You guys are everything. Absolutely everything. All right. So I wanted to just talk to you the next. Oh, all right, Doctor. I would have preferred Stephen host also. Would you have preferred Stephen Hill to host or Black Woody is my question. Dr. Marks.
No, I can't with any of y'all.
Stephen in the first half. Black Woody could have came in the second half.
Yeah. with that side too.
Yeah. You always want to end your show with a Black Woody.
I think every week we should. All right, you guys, I'll leave you today with our Yogi's Jewels, the daily inspiration. And today, Stephen Hill or Black Woody, whoever is listening, the universe is speaking to your heart. Inhale the blessing, exhale all curses. Curses. Ooh. Blessings, curses. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you. Ma'am, sir.
To infinity and beyond.
He can tell you about their first dance, but he can't remember my name. I'm his daughter. Half of all black families are impacted by Alzheimer's, but we don't know why. At HSC, we are investing in a new research study to find solutions for your family. To join the research study, visit blackalzbrainstudy.com or call 817-735-2963.